Hello everyone, my name is Liu. In this video, on behalf of the other two co-authors, I'm going to give a brief talk about our research regarding gauge distance and innovation performance in MNEs with the consideration for the moderating role of corporate social responsibility, CSR. We know that apart from market expansion, a multinational company, when going global, also benefits from a lot of resources that it obtains from the host country. These resources are collected, accumulated over time, and then transferred back to the parent. So here comes the question of how far is the distance, meaning how big is the difference between the host and the home countries, because the level of the difference will determine the level to which the subsidiary can assimilate information and knowledge to build trust and relationship, as well as to develop collaborations with the local stakeholders. So we call it, CAGE, gauge distance, standing for cultural, administrative, geographic, and economic distance. There have been an extensive research in the literature which explored the significant role of the experience abroad in enriching the knowledge base of multinational firms. Also, the matter of liability of foreigners was also thoroughly investigated. In addition, corporate social responsibility was explored as a strategy to enhance the MNE's legitimacy in host country and thereby help them to overcome the liability of foreigners. Despite the fruitful results obtained by the previous studies, there are still certain gaps which we have identified after doing the literature review. First, we noticed that there are very few attention has been paid to the comparison between the home and the host country to highlight the distance. And second, Eastern studies tend to be more biased to the direct outcomes manifested in the foreign subsidiaries rather than in the parent companies. And third, the role of CSR performance of the MNE at home is unclear. Only the CSR conducted by the subsidiary in the host country was well investigated. Considering these gaps in the literature, we identified two research questions. First, what is the relationship between cross-national distance and the MNE's innovation performance? Which brings us to hypothesis 1, 2A, 2B, 2C, and 2D, proposing the negative relationship between the distance and the innovation performance. And second, how does CSR performance of the parent company moderate the above relationship, which leads to the hypothesis that CSR will diminish the relationship between gauge distance and innovation performance of the parent. We test our hypothesis in a sample of 202 Chinese MNEs during the time from 2013 to 2017. The final sample is composed of 706 firm-year observations. Regarding the measures, gauge distance is constructed from the 4 component factors using a principal factor analysis. You can check more detail in the graph I put here. Innovation productivity, the dependent variable, is captured by the number of patents registered by the parent company in the home country 1 year after the time of the independent variables. Corporate social responsibility is obtained from Hexun website. We also control for a vector of firm and industry factors. And here we go the result. As shown in model 1 and 2, the aggregate gauge distance is significantly and negatively related to the number of patents produced by the parent MNE. You may notice that we haven't explained about this indicator, the gauge add. This one was obtained by simply adding up the 4 component factors. instead of the factor analysis like we conducted in here. And we use this one as an alternative measure for gauge PFA in order to check the robustness of our hypothesis. And you can see that it gives also a significant and negative effect consistent with the one we obtained from the main measure. In model 3, 4, 5, and 6, you can see that only administrative distance doesn't show a significant effect. The other three give significant and negative effect consistent to our hypothesis. Model 7 and 8 test the moderating effect of CSR, and both of them are significant, giving the support for our hypothesis. After all, we got some implications for international business management, which suggest a cautious consideration for strategic fit before choosing the destination for investment. We also suggest that MNEs should take advantage of the parent's reputation, including social responsibility reputation of the parent back home, in order to optimize its subsidiaries' performance in global market. And yes, there's some brief details on our research. If you are interested in our topic, we welcome you to join our live showcase where we can discuss more on the topic as well as share the related ideas. Thank you very much for your attention.